This is Philip Rostek speaking. This is part 9 of a series of monologues. And this will be the last episode. I'm partial to the number 9, kind of like when Bruckner wrote his symphonies. He relisted them starting with symphony number 0, so the last one could be number 9. I'm a little bit in that mode right now. I would like to begin by thanking my good YouTube friends Keel and Bink and Andreas and Lloyd, better known as Lone Wolf, for commenting on some of these pieces that we've done in the past. And they were very important to me in putting together this kind of anthology that attempts to tell my story. We finished up episode 8 by a little comparison between Michelangelo, who got the worldly status in Florence, while Saint Francis of Assisi got the spiritual status of a location on the top of Fiesole and the mountain that exists there. It serves as a kind of example of the kind of things that I like very much, and it represents to me in a kind of an oblique way that the relationship that I cherish is one where art and life go together as a unison. Maybe it has something to do with my life as I was raised as a Roman Catholic, and as such, it had an influence on me as a romantic. That seems rather far-fetched, but I do like ritual, and like it, even though I don't really practice faith very well. I do like ritual in church, and also I like it in the realm of artistic expression, especially in a kind of performance art that I have engaged in for a lot of my life. I confess that I don't identify as anything. I don't really like that kind of thing. Identification is a verb. I do like multiple identity, and because I think that the internet has made that inevitable. And so over the years, I've been the man who wore tails. I've been the art doctor, Phil Europe, Friar Phil, which is my main one, Pericles Rostek, Philippe Z. Oakville, and now in my old age, I call myself Pap to some of my friends because Grandpap had that name in my own experience inside my family. In a way, my experience of having a heart transplant has informed part of this inventory of stories that I've put together, and it has accelerated an interest in the relationship between creativity and wellness, and that's been a factor that has informed my creative life since 2008, when I did have that transplant, and it did affect me in a musical kind of way, even though I liked classical music ever since I was a kid. And that's really how this story began with me in Buell Planetarium during a sky show that began with Beethoven. Now, as an old man of 75, I'm still here because of my transplant. I'm very thankful for having an extended life. I can't presume to be an important figure of any type in the art world. I'm more popular with the animals that my wife and I feed off our porch. We have a couple of wild rabbits that come for their breakfast and dinner. We have a bunch of squirrels that we feed peanuts to, and a flock of 50 birds will come in the morning to get their bird seed off our feeder in the backyard. Those really are my best artistic friends now, as I enjoy twilight years with my wife, who has always supported my creative endeavors. In a way, this is probably not far afield from the kind of things that I really love about the pop philosopher Marshall McLuhan, who was suspect of professionalism and thought professional people in many respects are people that stand still because they have a vested interest in security. And he very much advocates for the amateur who performs things simply out of the love of what they do and has the freedom to seek out adventuresome things that the professional steers clear of. If anything, I would like to think of myself as that kind of individual whose artwork aligned more with the pure spirit of the amateur, both in music, where I am a complete amateur, and even though I'm well trained in the visual arts, I've tried to keep invention and discovery at the forefront of what I do, even though it has not made an impact on things. The impact that it has made has been for me personally, and I think that there's something to be said for that, actually. It's practical. It helps you get through your life. It's like faith and religion. It's not based on facts. It's based on wanting to believe. And artwork and creativity is a little bit like that, I think. There is a trust that there is a magical relationship between the artist and what he creates. You either believe in that or you don't. And it is in that realm that I think important things can actually happen. And it need not be anything more than that, because it is sufficient in itself. I say those things because I think the artist, as a pure amateur, this is also a McLuhan-esque kind of opinion, they can address the present. Most people shy away from the present because it's just too difficult to deal with. It's scary. But the pure amateur takes on the present. That's where artistic creativity meets the information that it requires in order to be significant in the world of social navigation. It's I've mentioned it's not usual for people to acknowledge what they learned in school or from teachers that influenced a person's life. A good deal of these episodes have relied on my recollections of what I've learned from others, mostly in the world of professionalism. The artist is presented as somebody that just comes onto the scene as a unique individual that whose reference goes to no other individual other than their unique talent. But that has a lot to do, I think, with commoditization. When it comes down to information that a person really learns from any particular source, I should acknowledge that out of all the smart people that have influenced my life in such a positive way, my brother Chuck, a brilliant scientist, was probably the most important factor in my education. I learned a lot when I was a kid from him being 8 years older than me. And now I kind of, leafing back through my life, I understand how important Chucky was in so many ways, turning me on to the night sky, turning me on how to play chess, turning me on to specific books that were being written at poignant periods of time that were far ahead of what the mainstream would actually consider as applicable to our times. I'm not sure what should or could be said at this point in the 9th chapter of this exercise to sum things up. In a way, I think I can say this. I advise people to be creative in their habits because it's its own reward in a way, and it has its own way of improving a person's life. It has helped me in so many ways to get through physical ailments, heart attacks, heart transplant, other kind of things. I relied on creative thinking in order to sustain me, and it can sustain you if you're a creative person as well. That's my parting advice, and I thank you very much for being a part of this thing that we've called up till now my life. I hope it can be part of your life. Thank you.